Hey guys, Azzy here. I'm sorry that my lighting looks really crap tonight. The lamp in my bedroom has decided that it wanted to blow on me, and so I've got like hardly any light. But I promise videos, so I'll deliver. Um, Today is going to be the last top 10 I do, probably for about 2 or 3 days. I've got a couple of other ideas that I'm doing for videos, including one which I will be shooting outside because, you know, being cooped up inside all day is no fun. Anyway, tonight's top 10 is going to be my top 10 horror films. Now, horror to me can mean body horror, can mean horror thriller, can mean gore. Horror is a very broad term for me, which is why the idea of horror films for me is to be disgusted and like horrified. So I'm gonna like use that and like as my meaning for the term of horror. These are in no particular order because once again I'm too lazy to actually order them, so they're literally just going to be coming at you guys. But hey, these are my favourite films. I've limited it to one per series if it's a film with multiple series, and there are a few on here, so you know, bear that in mind. Anyway, going right in it, number 1 is Saw, the original Saw, because obviously everything else is just a remake. Ironic. But yeah, no, the first Saw is kind of what gripped me. I mean, I had no idea what I was expecting when I first watched it. I was like, yeah, this looks pretty tame. And basically I was shut the fuck up, you know? It was nothing that I was expecting. And it was just so brilliant and so revolutionary because no one had taken this idea of horror before and done it properly, at least in my opinion. And then it transpired and I was like, ah. And then we got like 6 sequels, but which by the end of it everyone was sick of, but hey, we had to see how it ended. We were so sick of it, it was something we had to see end just so we could say we saw it end. Number 2 is Nightmare on Elm Street. Number 3, Dream Warriors, which is the one inside the asylum, sanitarium, call it what you will. That was a really good film. I really thoroughly enjoyed that one. Definitely was interesting to see how Freddy was going to work inside that and how he was going to play with things and everything else. And you gotta give Freddy credit. The guy's a genius, a scary ass bastard, but an absolute genius. Number 3, which is probably going to get me a lot of hate for this, and I'm prepared for that, so, you know, a Serbian film. Now, a lot of people would argue that this isn't horror, but if it disgusts and it wrenches and it makes you physically sick to your stomach, to me that is the very definition of a horror film. And a Serbian film did that to me. I actually hadn't seen it until very recently. Like, I think it was last month. I actually sat and watched it, and all in all, yes, it's quite possibly the most disgusting and brutal thing I've ever seen in my life. And I probably will never watch it again, but at least I can turn around and say I've watched it. Number 1, 2, 3. Number 4 was the Blair Witch Project, the original. Book of Shadows was great, but it was very hokey. It was very kind of poking fun at itself, and I personally didn't like that aspect of it. And for me, I thought that was rather poor in like the spirit of going with what the films went with. I thought it was rather poor. I thought it was actually incredibly cheap, not just poor, but cheap. And I didn't enjoy it, but number 1 was something that really gripped me. I was like edgy as it got from day dot. It was absolutely incredible, and I definitely would advise anyone who hasn't actually given it the chance to see it to go see it. Number 5 is Wreck, which is a Portuguese film about a rescue crew and a woman and like a reporter and a cameraman who tag along, and basically they get shut in this building where there's this like plague virus, whatever you want to call it, just seeping through and turning everyone into psychopathic monsters. I literally, as soon as I started watching, had to watch the entire film, and I think I've seen it 3 or 4 times now, and every time I have to like see it again because I learn more and more and more, and I'm like, I need this film because of reasons. Number 6 is another one that probably is going to get me a lot of hate, which is The Human Centipede. Yes, I know, I've mentioned both the Serbian film and the Human Centipede. How sick am I? The answer is very. But no, I actually find that The Human Centipede is like a really interesting and really kind of gripping film. Not so much the whole body part of it, but just the fact that it was a very good story. I thought it was very good. I thought it was very well presented, and for me, it kind of gave me what I was looking for in a film that I expected pretty much nothing from. And yeah, it was a very good film. A very good film. I can't say that enough, but it was definitely something that really got me. Number 7 is Grave Encounters number 2. Now, normally, as you know, I've gone for the first one of each of these series, with the exception of, well, I've gone for the first Human Centipede, I've gone for the first Blair Witch, but Grave Encounters 2 was so much better than Grave Encounters 1. Grave Encounters 1 was very trying to be found footage, which sucked. Grave Encounters 2, which had the film school element to it and everything like that, made you suspend your own disbelief. Because you were worried who was like the person who was feeding them the information and stuff like that, and you got carried along with it, and it just kept going and going and going and going and going. Whereas Grave Encounters 1, it was very stop start, and as a guy dating a filmmaker, that for me was horrendously horrible to deal with. Grave Encounters kind of grabbed you, and you were dragging along by the boot of your heel, pretty much. So yeah, so that's my number 7. Number 8 is The Hills Have Eyes, but it was the most recent remake. I think it was 2006, 2008. It was one of those. Because it was so brutally barbaric. You couldn't not watch. You forced yourself to watch it just so you could say you watched it, and then never have to talk about it ever again. It was violent, it was crass, it was blatant, like, disgust and repulse, and yet it was still an absolutely brilliant film that you can't help but force yourself to watch and know you're going to watch this. So yeah, don't know. Number 9 is... No, actually, I was wrong. I'm at number 10 now, not number 9. No. I'm on number 9 now. Sorry guys, bear with. Number 9 is Friday the 13th, but like I think it was 2010 remake. Because I always like it when they attempt to like reboot something. I mean, okay, so it didn't stick, and we still got the traditional ending, Jason coming up from Crystal Lake and snatching the guy's sister away again, and all of that, and we very much got that. But it's very hard to remake a Jason film when a lot of Jason films have to take place at Camp Crystal. Well, all of them, I think. I could be wrong, but all the ones I've seen have taken place at Crystal Lake. So you've got to always keep like the mythology and storyline and mythos and everything like that going, and that can be really difficult. But for what they do it very well. And number 10, which is actually the only one that I am doing last, which is doing first, which is like my number 1, is Hellraiser. I like it as a series. I think it's genius the way it develops over time, and it keeps you going. And like, we start off it's like just a box we find, then from the box we find the box hidden away in a sanatorium, and then like we find it in a statue at some like wannabe golf club, and then it becomes part of a video game, and it just, you kept going. And it's timeless in the fact that it is probably, I think, one of the first, if not one of, probably the first body horror film, and that makes me love it. But yeah, and so Hellraiser is definitely my number 1 like horror franchise series, whatever, film. Because I thoroughly enjoy it, and I probably will enjoy it right way up until like Hellraiser 2950, once I'm rewoken from cryogenesis. Right guys, tonight's video done. I love you guys. Mwah. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and remember I love you. See you tomorrow guys. Bye.